Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block, on a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts, basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Good afternoon, everybody. It looks like we are live and we are on fire. Here we go. Just getting the show rocking and rolling. JPap's in the house already. Yeah, great stuff. I'll just let me know if anybody else pops in, just because I've got a few ideas. Hey, Shelly Mack in the house as well. Great stuff. Loving the fact they've got a copy and pasted intro there. Excellent. That's what we like. Efficiency. All right, brilliant. That's kind of like having the intro to my show. So again, I'll just let a few people join before I get to the main topic of what I want to go through. So a usual intro. The reason we broadcast on Twitch, and this is something I'm going to touch on today, is because YouTube have already taken down 2 of my channels and they were preventing me from editing my shows and they were deleting episodes. So I thought, you know what, this is absolutely ridiculous. I need to find an alternative to YouTube. So now we broadcast live on Twitch, upload the trailer onto YouTube, and then upload the full episode onto Streamanity, where you can set your own fee according to how you judge the quality of your content, which is what we'll go on. Because I'm thinking about how we can possibly move on going forward, because like things are going to change, people. Things are really going to change, and fast. So, you know, as they say, what's the one? If you fail to plan, you may as well plan to fail. Which is a good one. So this image pretty much sums up what newbies don't know. I mean, again, I was just like listening to more shitcoiners earlier on. It actually feels like quite lonely at the top when you have such a clear, a concise image of exactly what has gone on, and you're trying to explain this to other people, you know, a bit like explaining, 2 + 2 = 4. You think, well, it shouldn't be that hard. People can't grasp it. And then you start to doubt yourself. You're just like, is there something wrong with me? Like, surely you can't be this effing stupid. And it would worry you that people are that effing stupid. But if you go onto the likes of YouTube and you type in gym fails, you've got to remember a gym owner owns that gym. And you get these gym fail people in there and you're just like, wow, like, where did you come from? Like, what made you think that the machine was meant to be used like that? You know, like, just common sense is lacking, but it's the same with these shitcoiners, you know. So anyway, yeah, just gonna do the usual intro and actually let some of these shitcoiners who don't know that they're shitcoiners explain Bitcoin for us. So take the floor, Michael Saylor. Here we go.
I like Bitcoin the way it is.
Good. So do we, Michael. So do we. Yo, Jimmy Mack in the house. Great stuff. Nice one.
In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is. And
what way is that, Michael? Small blocks?
The way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy in big blocks of...
Clearly not a small blocker then, Michael. Oh dear.
Encrypted energy on the blockchain. Maybe the Bitcoin will be $1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something. Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain.
He has no idea that he's talking to small blocker BTCers. Like, absolutely hilarious. So while Michael thinks that big blocks are on the horizon, and they're clearly not, we're going to let Peter McCormack explain to him why they're not on the horizon. Take the floor, Peter McCormack. Here we go.
Bitcoin is so different now from when Satoshi was here. It's a completely different project. It doesn't matter who Satoshi is anymore. Even if Satoshi came back, I don't think he would just be immediately welcomed as having this God-given right to decide what happens with Bitcoin. I think he would have to earn his right back into the project. Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
Are you sure about that, Pete? Because it really didn't sound like it to me. What do you think proof of work is? How do you think miners come to consensus? Are you trying to tell me it wasn't based on consensus before, you absolute goon? You know, and then miners come to consensus as well in agreeing what is best for them is best for everybody, which is why they upgrade the network. But what they don't agree on is screwing up the network. But how can they agree to not screw up the network if they don't understand what that means? I've just been literally watching a shitcoiner video earlier on today where it was talking about upgrades and goes, oh, well, you know, Bitcoin has had a SegWit upgrade and it's had a second layer solutions upgrade. I was just like, oh my God. This guy gets tens of thousands of views on his channel, you know, and they're talking about, it's in front of their eyes, SegWit, short for segregated witness, which effectively means segregating the signatures, which means whoever implemented that is now no longer accountable and the system is completely controlled, you know, and fundamentally worthless because it's no longer a commodity. It just, like I said, it's like, wow, you know, wrecked. It's and it is a little bit depressing. It's just like, wow, you know, I don't want to hang around with you in case whatever it is that you've got, like the lurgy, I get, because I don't want to have the same shit for brains that you've got, because it hurts my head thinking about it. Like, honestly. Oh dear. So anyway, we're now just going to let Samson Mao admit in his own words that what I've just said is correct, in that Blockstream, the group of developers that implemented SegWit, now control it. Take the floor, Samson Mao. Here we go.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now, of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
Yeah. Go ahead. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh! Own goal. Yeah, Jamie Max says should have called it nitwit. Oh dear, anyway, cue the nervous laughter.
Oh,
All right.
I was looking at you when I said that.
Yeah, I'm a block.
I have a spy. I'm one of the spies.
If anybody has got a clue what Max Kaiser was going on about there, sounded like something about spies and like whatever. If anybody can interpret that, you know, please let me know. I mean, it just sounds like absolute gobbledygook.
No. So,
He even corrects himself. He's like, yeah, enough of that bullshit, Max. No, so.
this, you know, it's an interesting, there's,
Yeah, it's an interesting because he's completely flabbergasted, basically, at that. That's what's interesting. He's like, wow, I'm completely flabbergasted because it's interesting. Bleh. Oh, dear. So anyway, let's just let some more... this is Roger Ver explaining why B Crash is a load of shit. Take the floor, Roger Durr. Here we go.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cash Fusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time.
Which we all should do, because if it's not perfectly legal, it is illegal. And if it's illegal, it's worth absolutely jack shit because the law will shut it down. And if the law can't shut it down, they'll then call in the army. Whatever is required. It will be shut down because society doesn't want it and it reflects poorly on the government. They will shut it down, Roger, you absolute fool.
Just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal.
Oh my God. Honestly, sick to death of that. Utter douchebag. Huh. So anyway, yeah. Just have a quick laugh. Let's remind ourselves. What does it shitcoiners say?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
And let's have a quick reminder of what Mike Novogratz says about Charlie Lee and his shitcoin. Take the floor. Here we go.
You created Litecoin, right? So this has to be something like you're incredibly passionate about.
Yeah, as most of you probably know, I kind of created it just for fun, right? I didn't really expect it to become anything.
And I just remember the guy that founded Litecoin sold it all on the top. And I was like, dude, not great as the founder to unload everything literally on the high tick. Great as a speculator, but not as a community builder.
Great as a shitcoiner. So I was just listening to a shitcoiner not long ago, going on about how the central banks in Nigeria are basically trying to stop people from using Bitcoin. Now you think, like, why would a central bank of a country trying to stop people from using Bitcoin? Because basically the central bank knows that their currency is worth absolutely jack shit because they just print it. It's not even worth the paper that they print it on, especially if they're printing loads of it anyway and nobody trusts them, which they shouldn't do anyway. And then I was just like, well, look, the clue is there. The central banks in Nigeria don't want them to use it. Now, if for example, like, the US government or the US Federal Reserve, for example, didn't want people to use it, they're trying to keep the people on their side. So they just can't, they can't say, like, for example, in America, we don't want you to do this, because Americans would be like, well, go F yourself. We will use it. So instead what they do is they employ political narratives. And it's like, oh, well, you're not meant to use it. Store of value. Stop spamming the network. And these fools absolutely believe them. So it's like, hold on a minute, Bitcoin was working fine, it's gone from a peer-to-peer electronic cash system to now a digital piece of dog shit where it can be stuck in the meme pool for like 10 days without being confirmed. Transaction fees are absolutely through the roof. I mean, it's just insane. So just going to have a quick listen to Andreas Antonopoulos explaining how shitcoin is. Take the floor, Andreas Antonopoulos. Here we go.
Anonymous asks, I transferred my Bitcoin with too low a fee, and it's been unconfirmed for 10 days. What should I do? The idea that you did a transaction and that transaction had insufficient fee tells me that you do not have a wallet that allows you to increase the fee after a transaction has been broadcast. Wallets that allow you to do that support one of two technologies. One is called replace by fee, which allows you to broadcast a second transaction with increased fee. And the other one is a technology called child pays for parent, which allows you to make another transaction with the change, or even allows the merchant or recipient to make another transaction with the payment amount that is a child transaction that has more fee, and that child fee is enough to pay for the parent fee, causing both the child and the parent to be confirmed simultaneously. All of this is stuff that you can do with a more sophisticated wallet, but it can be confusing, especially if your wallet is not sophisticated. I would say the first transaction you need to make is to a better wallet.
Yeah, people, you need sophisticated wallet. Just in case you don't understand that you haven't got a sophisticated wallet. It is a sophisticated wallet that you need in order for it to be sophisticated, to transact a sophisticated transaction. What an arsehole. It's laughable, honestly. But talking about laughable, I've got a mate of mine who's an utter shitcoiner. Like, if you imagine a stereotypical shitcoiner, but a shitcoiner on steroids, yeah, that is my mate. And literally the only reason I amuse him is because literally he's got to be the biggest shitcoiner ever. And like literally because he's a mate, it's just like, right, I'm going to challenge myself to literally rebuttal every single objection that he throws my way. So I challenge myself, like honestly. But if he was just like somebody that I'd met online or, you know, that was like contacting me on Twitter, literally he would be blocked within 10 seconds. You know, honestly. But I mean, yeah, well, I mean, mates wind you up on purpose anyway, because that's just what they do. You know, you've just got to sit there and take the shit from them. But it's funny because obviously people who listen to my show are just like, well, yeah, Toshi's the only one that's like talking sense here. You know, I mean, like literally, it's so different when you, because like you've known a mate for like years and years and years, and they kind of like, yeah, it's a different level of respect. It's like it's friends. Do you know what I mean? You're kind of like on the same. Social level, whatever you want to call it, you know, so they can give you as much shit as they want, you know, but it's just like, mate, you have no idea about the information and the quality of the information that I'm literally trying to give you right now. You know, it's hilarious. Like, literally, I am the only person in the world that explained the paradox of the centralized starting point. The only one. Like, Craig obviously knew all this stuff, but the fundamentals isn't really what he was bothered about people knowing. He just simply wrote the white paper with all the technicals in it, and people were just like, okay, so plug computer in, download program, get coin. You know, that's it. You know, whereas and again, I wasn't aware of the sort of person that I was until, you know, what had happened to me happened. And I was just like, how on earth am I going to get out of this hole? You know, how can I be sure that, you know, I'm absolutely safe this time? You know, so when you go down the rabbit hole and like I said, you get to the bottom, I realized it was a paradox. And I was like, how's he solved this? You know, and then I realized that it was this, you know, this neutral growth period. And I was just like, well, that period has to come to an end somewhere. And then I realized, obviously, looking at the Tulip Trust, it's just like, oh, that's what it represents. You know, effectively the Tulip period from the start of the network on the 3rd of January 2009 to the 1st of January 2020 when the keys were returned to him was obviously the time that he planned to come out and start adding value. And one of the ways you add value is by adding credibility to the network by saying, actually, yes, you should listen to me because I am Satoshi Nakamoto. You know, but I mean, one of the things that he's done, Bitcoin is literally like the greatest honey trap in history. And talking about honey traps in history, let's just have a quick look at this image that I sent myself earlier. Hold on one second. Let me just Let me just send it to myself via my phone. Good job. Oh, that's going to have to load up. Right, let me just see if I can find the image of the bubbles. I know I've got them here somewhere. Hold on 1 second. Right, just need a little bit of luck here, because my library of images, as you can probably imagine, is getting pretty substantial by now. So I just need to recognize all these different images that I have saved. And I've got it bubbles, got it. Cool. There we go. Check it out. This is what I wanted. Right, I mean, look at this. Look at the size of this thing. It's absolutely gigantic. So even like the .com bubble here, which is like represented by Nasdaq here. Oh yeah, .com bubble, 1994 to 2003. So that was like a 9-year bubble. That's like peaked. But now we've got Bitcoin here again. I mean, this simply just goes up to what price relative years. So we're actually 12 years now. So I mean, this line here has almost quadrupled, or at least gone up by 2/3 since then. It's absolutely monstrous, this bubble. And I said, basically I was trying to again, my mate being a shitcoiner doesn't understand the difference between price and value. It's literally because he's in marketing, he's in sales. He's just like, look, you make a sale, that's it. Doesn't really understand the concept of actually, something that's useful, something that has value. It's all about the patter. It's all about getting somebody to buy it. Doesn't really matter what's in it. But I said to him, literally, the reason they call it a bubble is because people, when they say, look, the definition of a bubble, or it's a good metaphor, is because people think they see the size of the bubble and they think the size of the bubble represents its mass, only to find out that when it pops, there is no mass within there. It's literally nothing there. Poof, gone. And that's what BTC is and all these shitcoins. They have no value. They have a price. But when I say it has no value, literally no use case. It's been purposely prevented from having a use. It's just purely reliant on people buying it on this bullshit narrative of store of value bollocks. But then, what's a store of value? Oh, well, it's a store of value, so I'm going to store my value in there, and then later on, I'm going to sell it because And remember, you can only sell it if somebody else buys it. So I'm just going to sell it at a higher price because I don't want it anymore, and let some other sucker take it off me. That's a Ponzi scheme. But these shitcoiners are so ignorant. They don't even know what a Ponzi scheme is, and I'm only literally just starting to realize this. I mean, my friends are geniuses, and I'd never really appreciated it, until now, when you're sort of Bitcoin has enabled me to kind of get online, and I was kind of living in my own little bubble, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I grew up in an affluent area. Not that I knew it was an affluent area at the time. I mean, I was just a kid. You just kind of house is a house, and you just assume that, the rest of the world is like it. It's only when you kind of grow up and move out of your area and you're just like, whoa, hold on a minute. I actually grew up in a really affluent area. And then you start to appreciate it more because obviously when you're a kid, it's a little bit boring. But what you don't realize is that your parents have chosen that place because it's safe. But if you want to live in a safe area away from douchebags, you're going to have to pay for it, so it's, you sort of get online, see the rest of the world, and then you're just like, wow, there are some really, intellectually challenged people out there. I kind of thought I was the lower echelons, and then it's just wow, there are actually some other people who are really, really dumb, really dumb. I didn't really think much of my own intellectual capacity, and then you see other people's, and it's just how did you even learn to breathe? Oh dear. Right. So Anyway, good to see people in the house. So we have got shout out from the top, JP Mac. We've got Shelly Mac in there, Jimmy Mac. Oh, all these Macs in there, cool. Neezy, Diddy, Lambo, great stuff. So just want to touch on a few figures first. So we'll let's go on to Streamanity. Just want to show you this first. Check it out. Now that we've got a few people in the house watching this. So if I go onto my profile here. Oh look, got 191 followers in Streamanity. Here we go. Oh, look at that. 10 paid, had that one up for a penny. And so what was the latest one? Oh, look at that. So I made revenue $2.80 from whichever this one was. But actually, what's my most popular video? I think I got like $4 for it, which is pretty great. Crikey, have I already made... am I already on the next page here? What on earth? You didn't realise how fast the days tick by. $3.20 for that one. There we go, $4.80. Yeah, on the next page already. Right, so, but this is what I want to show you. Check this out. We'll pause it when it comes up. There we go, check it out. So, on Streamanity, you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner, there is like a share button. But when you share it with this particular link, you get 10% of the revenues for everybody that you sent the link to that watches it. So the reason I'm telling you this is because yesterday, I think who was it? Tracy calls herself the Cruel Princess, one of the Aussie crew. She was saying that getting friends like contacting her out of the blue. Oh, you're in Bitcoin. Oh, you must be making a pretty penny. Oh, tell me about it. Blah blah blah. I had somebody asking me the same thing. Like, there must be something in the water. You know, people are just like, oh, tell me about Bitcoin. I want to know. And it's just like, I just thought, I can feel this coming. I can feel it in the air. It's going to be absolutely massive when it hits. But where is my energy best spent? Like, if I'm dealing with newbie questions, what's the word? Kind of just... developing them, I'm repeating myself over and over. Like, I would rather specialize in kind of like teaching or telling people about the fundamentals that I know and explaining the figures to other people, so then other people can then have a go at explaining it to all these newbies. So in other words, kind of like, I don't really want to be I didn't get on here to be a celebrity. And other people have accused me of like wanting to be a celebrity. I'm just like, no, if I wanted to be a celebrity, I wouldn't be effectively use a pseudonym, would I? I'd show my face. But the fact is, I didn't get on this to be a celebrity. I got on this purely for Bitcoin because I'm a business person, and it breaks my heart when I see all these independent businesses going bust. Yeah, honestly, because I know that when somebody starts a business, they've literally put their heart and soul into it. They have worked and grafted in order to save up enough money to put into a business that they love, only to go and see it fail. And all the money that they've saved, go to waste and on the wall. Honestly, it kills me. So now I realize that Bitcoin is actually going to be able to help and expand small businesses so that the economy won't be centralized under just simply like a few big businesses, and eventually basically one gigantic business that's going to like swallow up everything, as we're seeing at the moment. I mean, that's why we have the Competition Commission to stop mergers and acquisitions that would give companies an unfair advantage and create a monopoly, because then you get crony capitalism, which is what they suffer from in the United States, which makes it absolutely horrendous, which means in terms of the fact that like these medical insurance companies, I think there's like four large medical insurance companies. That again, I mean, we see loads of programs where they refuse to pay out, and literally at the end of the month, after you've paid your taxes and your Medicare and all the other insurances you've literally got nothing left, and you're screwed because you don't have a choice. And again, like not having a choice is all due to crony capitalism and the fault with money. Because those companies that do bring in the money, and again, the money that they're bringing in is just simply printed by the Fed. It's so ridiculous. All right, so then you've got the Fed, printing money in bed with those companies that are basically getting the money fed to them. Fed prints the money, goes out into the system, ends up in the pockets of these people. So it's such a ridiculous system. And the more they print, the more it devalues. It's just a completely centralized system. And I said businesses are always having to deal with increasing costs. And unless you can just increase your prices accordingly or find ways to reduce your costs accordingly, you're going to go bust. And now with Bitcoin, because it's something that increases in value, you don't want to spend it, which means you want to do a good job the first time round. You don't want to do a shit job and cut costs like left, right, and center so that you have to go back and redo it. You want it to last, because otherwise it means spending more money. And money, as we know now, if you're using Bitcoin, is going to have value. That's my motivation. But what I would like is for everybody sort of listening to my show right now in the chat box, just have a go at developing growing your own audience. I was a financial services student, and then I became like a landlord. And now I'm, I don't know, in social media and producing shows and, kind of like building an audience and, I'm actually thinking strategically, like how can I get this message out there? If I'm just simply dealing with loads of newbies like firing questions at me, my time is just going to be taken up just going over the same old shit. But if I can focus on the fundamentals and educating the people who listen to my show about the fundamentals, maybe you can then practice, your delivery when people that ask you about it. Increase your knowledge. But give it a go, push yourself. I'd never done a show before. I kind of I was kind of lucky in the fact that I kind of approached Captain Bitcoin and we did a show together. But the first time I did a show, I was literally just, I was like, oh my God, I'm live. What am I going to say? All I knew is that I needed to be on top form and enthusiastic. So, my heart was pumping and I was getting a bit of sweat on just because, live TV, it's stage fright effectively. You've got all this, positive cortisol flooding your brain that sort of blocks your hippocampus from functioning. You don't know if you're going to slip up. But luckily, Shem was really good at, sort of being a host of the show and just making everybody feel welcome and calming them down. It was a really good experience. But what I would say is just, if you have an idea in mind, what would be a good idea? As Richard Branson would say, if somebody asks you if you can do something and you're not sure, just say yeah and then find out. But do it. You will learn from doing it. So, again, when I was doing my show, I was just oh, crikey, I've got to do a show that lasts 10 minutes. Now I have trouble keeping my show under an hour. Don't know where the time goes. But I think what I'm going to maybe try and do is probably just do a show on stream, just Streamanity, because I don't really want the masses listening to my show anymore, because I would rather focus my attention on the sort of 200 subscribers that I've got and the people that follow me on Twitch, because I think that would be better. And the reason I think it's going to be better is because we're going to be the financial elite. Literally, why do you want to be friends with celebrities? Well, most people want to be friends with celebrities because they're hoping that, a little bit of their celebrity will rub off on them, and they'll get kudos and people will get to know them and they'll get some money that way. Where it's just I don't need that. We here, all of you guys in the chat box, we are going to be the financial elite. I was working out the other day, if when Bitcoin is $40 million each, effectively, I think you only need 25? You only need 25 BSV at 40 million each, and that makes you a billionaire. And I'm pretty much sure, the amount of time that we've been in Bitcoin, we probably could have accumulated, 10 to 20 by now. So You know, I would rather build relationships and get to know everybody that's in the space now. Because if you can build relationships, you can then bounce ideas off each other. You know, what needs to be done, and more importantly, you know, keeping people up to date on, you know, warning people about scams. So, and again, there are going to be so many people trying to take Bitcoin down. And so, yeah, talking about like taking Bitcoin down, there was a tweet I posted out to someone, but also there was I Am Satoshi posted out something. Yeah, I mean, check this out. So he's had his first imposter. Look at this. This is what he posted out. So this one, they've got a double I there for I Am Satoshi. So obviously, and he said here, please report this imposter. You know, plus my images are copyrighted. Do not use these without my consent. And yeah, my jovial response was, that's your second imposter. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I'm still waiting for mine. Yeah, but again, this is the kind of shit you got to deal with if you're famous. And it's like, I just can't be arsed with this. You know, if you have thousands of people get to know you, you're gonna have to deal with that, you know, 1 in 1,000 person who's an absolute nut job. You know, it's just I cannot be asked dealing with them. You know, so I would much rather people listen to my show like yourselves and try to encourage you to, you know, at least read through all the information that I've written. So literally the fundamentals, which are here on satoshi.medium.com. Every person is a pitch. Again, I sent this to Shadows, and I sent this to Craig actually, hoping that they'll read it, because it's actually really quite good. In fact, I'm talking about you guys, you know, developing yourselves. This actually might be quite interesting for you to know right now. Actually, yeah, let's go through this. So I wrote here, every person is a pitch. And a quote from Leonardo da Vinci saying, where there is shouting, there is no true knowledge. So I said here, you do not have to be good at communicating. You just have to not suck at it. It's really important to not suck at it. Oh, can we open this one? Oh, it's a 5-minute read. I wrote quite a lot here for your benefits. Here we go. So I said, in his poem titled As You Like It, Shakespeare famously wrote, all the world is a stage. In addition to this, I say every person is a pitch. Whether you're simply wanting to greet someone warmly, engage in pleasant conversation, make others laugh, provide an explanation, give clear, concise instruction, make a good impression, or anything else, every communicative interaction has a structure to it. Recognizing the structure and the stages of the interaction helps effectively communicate the information that you would like to convey. Some might argue that there is a fine line between manipulation and effective communication. But if it is a personal message, effective communication is efficient communication and can save you time. So in other words, that's your incentive. Listed below are the 6 stages to every interaction. Recognizing each stage of the interaction allows you to know if more time is required for the person you are interacting with to fundamentally understand the point you are trying to make or the information you are providing. This ultimately saves time that would otherwise be spent having to repeat yourself. It also helps prevent confusion and allows for trust to develop in relationships, as understanding between the parties will grow mutually. So I've outlined here the 6 stages of every interaction. And again, this goes for my show. I have these are the stages. So introduction. The introduction engages before the conversation even starts. This is simply the surroundings and the circumstances in which you find yourself. How you're dressed, the shoes on your feet, the car you drive, the style of your hair, how you carry yourself, posture, your demeanor, the look in your eyes, and the smile on your face. It's all the non-verbal communication that hints to the other party and provides them with a clue about what might be in store for them within the context of the interaction that they are about to experience. What marks the end of the introduction is the first greeting. Within this are more clues / tells about the interaction, as the greeting includes the first words, i.e. hello, the tone of voice, and the facial expression associated with it. And then next there is the presentation. This begins as soon as business starts to commence and ensures the two parties have an understanding of why they are meeting. The meeting could be by chance or it could be arranged. Either way, the presentation allows both parties to know very quickly if their interaction of engagement should continue and if it is likely to be mutually beneficial. If it is an arranged meeting, the presentation should initiate the proceedings and lay down the foundations for the interaction to continue, like suggesting a more suitable place to communicate if you're in, for example, a pre-COVID packed out noisy pub. Then qualification. Qualification, this begins once you have the full attention of the party you have presented to. It is not limited to an individual. It could be a room full of people you are speaking to. The qualification is making sure you are speaking to the correct person, being sure the crowd expects you, making sure you are in the right meeting, or finding out if the person you are about to chat up is definitely single. Whatever the qualification, it should ensure you get off on the right foot so that the least amount of time is wasted if a mistake has been made. Then we go on to short stories. Short stories, this is where the fun starts. The 3 stages of introduction, presentation and qualification should be over with relatively quickly, but are all equally important because you never get a second chance to create a first impression. The short stories are the context and the content of the communication. These are constructive, positive impulses that encourage the person, groups or crowds that you're communicating with to listen, pay attention and desire more information from you. To understand more about the term positive, constructive communication, you can read my article on the ABCs of understanding people linked here. And short stories continued. The short stories are used to metaphorically paint pictures in people's minds, build and construct the concept you are trying to explain from the ground up so that those you are communicating with can formulate your ideas in their own minds. Once the idea starts to formulate and take shape within the other people's minds, it then becomes easier to develop an understanding as logic and reasoning can be applied along with some common sense. The short stories should be kept short and simple so that the foundations of the ideas can be allowed to embed themselves easily in the mind. These foundations can be secured with the help of the following impulse factors. Greed, informing the person/people what it is they gain. Fear of loss, again, loads of religious people always use this one, oh, you go to hell, what they miss out on. Sheep factor, safety in numbers, inform them that other people have done it. Indifference, just in other words, let them know they make no difference to what is inevitable, it's going to happen anyway. And then tone of voice, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Although these impulse factors have been proven to work, and they do work because they're really cheesy and I used to teach them, an experienced salesperson, i.e. me, will see straight through them. I recommend you learn them not to use on other people, but to know when someone is trying to use them on you. The close. Check this out. So this is the important bit. The close. Closing a deal or a conversation is an art form because it's all about spotting the right time to close. People might well forget what is said in a conversation, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. Just like a good comedian always leaves the crowd while they're laughing, the same can be said for maybe outstaying a welcome or on the flip side, being too short with someone. Knowing when to close will come with experience of being aware and being able to pick up on the impulsive reactions of the other persons or crowd. A close consists of a last impulse or call to action, leaving the person or people with the desire to act on the information they have just received. This can be in the form of a suggestion or the recommendation of an idea they could use to help encourage their creativity and initiative. And then we have consolidation. This is a recap in brief of what has just been discussed and conclusive statements about what actions come next, when to meet, again, moving forward, dates in the diary, etc. Once these 6 stages of an interaction have been mastered, you'll find other people's understanding of you will increase significantly and social interactions become far more easier and much more popular. There we go, giving the game away. I mean, this is one of the reasons whenever I close out my show, I will say things like, buy BSV.live, the best place to buy a Bitcoin, it's V Online, join, get your tweet etched on Twitch, do it. Buy BSV, get your tweet etched on Twitch. It's all right, that's a good idea. I might do that. Impulse factors. That's what it's all about. So you can use this when you are doing your show. And again, I would love to be a guest on somebody else's show, because obviously, I'm doing this, on my own. But like I said, I am doing this because I'm passionate about Bitcoin. The best time I ever had in Bitcoin was when I was a regular host on the BSV channel with Captain Bitcoin. It was literally the most fun I have ever had. It was just brilliant, and it was brilliant because again, Shen was hosting the show. I could just sit back and chill out, and whenever he sort of fired a question at me, he was like, "All right, you'll go," and then you could just chip in and have a laugh. It was really good fun. Whereas now I'm kind of having to sort of do a show on my own. You do have to use your brain. You have to sort of interact it. That's why it's always kind of sit down, have a coffee. It's right, let this caffeine kick in and let's do this. So Let's Build Now says that's a great post. Tosh provides comprehensive tips. Well, if you like that one, this was the other one I wrote, just about positive, constructive conversation. So we'll have a quick look at this while we're here. It's only a relatively short one. So I said Satoshi's white paper on understanding people. I sent this to Craig, hence, I use blocks here with ABC. Do you know what I mean? To get it? Blocks. Blockchain and all that. I said, people, as in humans, are very simple to understand once you understand how their brains work. They respond to positive instruction. Positive instruction does not mean being nice. Positive means providing clear instruction. Sun Tzu said, if instructions are not clear and commands not explicit, it is the fault of the general that the troops do not obey. However, if the orders are clear, and my orders have been clear, it is the fault of the subordinate officers. And then Sun Tzu went around and cut their heads off. A little bit extreme, but they learned from that. The majority of the human population are eye-minded and remember what they see. Next are those who are ear-minded and remember what they hear, and others are read-minded and remember what they read. However, all three require constructive communication. When people seek information and understanding, at no time do they ever initially need to know what something isn't, what it's not, or what it can't do. The only time those three negatives may be necessary is after they have been given clear instruction of what something is, what it does, and what it can do in order to help eliminate any misconceptions about possible alternatives. Descriptions and information about what something isn't, what it's not, or what it can't do are infinite. And therefore, a lifetime can be spent telling someone what something is not. Literally, what? Let's say if you're describing a chair, a chair, it's not a table, it's not a window, it's not a door, it's not a blade of grass, it's not a bee, it's not a lion, People don't need to know what something isn't. They just need to know what it is, what it does, what it can do. That's it. Clarity comes from being concise about what something is specifically. When given a limited amount of time, if the information provided is divided equally between what something is and what something isn't, people will only learn half as much and remember even less because their memory will have trouble differentiating between what it was and what it wasn't that they were told. Constructive communication, whether it be visual, verbal, or literal, is building the concept so that the human mind can logically link the process together with rationale so that a clear fundamental understanding can be grasped without any confusion. The confusion only being added by being told what something isn't. The Bitcoin white paper wasn't titled Bitcoin, not a third-party physical store of value, even though that would have technically been correct. The title was constructive and specific. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Satoshi used a negative in the white paper in section 2, transactions, but only after he had clarified the positive. For our purpose, the earliest transaction is the one that counts, so we don't care about later attempts to double spend. Clear communication requires positively specific language, whether that be verbal or non-verbal. The practical result inferred by the language may be the same, but the way the information is perceived and conveyed is very opposite. For example, don't forget to take your change. The operative word in the sentence are don't and forget, which is a double negative. If the sentence was constructed for longevity in the memory, it would say remember to take your change. A more subtle difference is asking whether the glass is half empty or half full. The question is asking if you are focused on what can be done or something you can do nothing about. So in other words, if you say, oh, it's half empty, well, you can't do anything about the fact that it's half empty. However, if you're like, oh, it's half full, well, I can still drink that, you know. There is always a positive way to convey the information you want to give, because it is impossible for the negative to exist if the initial concept has not already been constructed. So remember, when you're telling somebody what something isn't, you can't tell them what something isn't unless it is already in existence. So you can't say what something isn't if it doesn't exist. So the fact that it exists means that you should be talking about what it is. You know, what it does, what it can do. That's kind of like what I'm saying there. So just take these tips, you know, in mind when you're talking or presenting or, you know, writing sentences, just general communication, really, to be honest with you. So yeah, just 50 minutes, the shows just go. So yeah, but what I'm saying is, actually, let me see if I can show you how I edit my shows here. Yeah, this is a screen that just simply comes with Windows. Let me see if I can display this on my screen here. Give me 2 secs. Properties. Do I want maximum browser? Microsoft show videos. No. Photos. There we go. Hey, check it out. Check it out. Right, so this is my video editor. As you can see, that's what it says. And again, this is free. It just simply comes with Windows. So, for example, like if I was going to edit a video, I would click on that. We'll see what happens. There we go. And then I can, when it comes up, I add a video from this PC. Oh, and another window. Oh yeah, just choose a video. What was the latest one? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's the Andreas Antonopoulos one. Adding files. So then you add this file and then you drag it into this box down here. Taking that back. Oh, wait for that to load again. There we go, it's come up. Great stuff. And then if I press play.
Anonymous asks, I transferred my Bitcoin with too low a fee, and it's been unconfirmed for...
So then what you do, if you just basically click split that video. Done. And then you've got the first section there. So that first section was 9. And then if I wanted to, I can just simply delete that. Check it out. And now I've just got like that 9-second video. Yeah, so that's how again, you know, I'm not an editor by any means, but you know, that's what I use to you know, edit my shows. And then OBS is pretty easy once you kind of like get the knack of it. Let's just bring up this again. Hey. There we go. Oops. Just getting the screen on the back in proportion. There we go. Thank you, y'all. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, there we go. That's the home screen for Maxim browser. Yeah, looking beautiful there. Loving that. So yeah, that's how I edit my videos. 54 minutes. I actually, yeah. So I saw who's it? I think JPaps asked, did anybody see the CSW case today? I tuned in and watched for a little bit. It was really funny. You know, I mean, the judge looked really effed off. You know, the lordship, you know, talking about dingles and stuff like that. I mean, it really was funny. Like I said, I wouldn't have the patience to be a solicitor. I just couldn't be bothered. Yeah, he was getting really annoyed that the other solicitor kept telling him to find tabs. He was just like, look, will you please stop using tabs? They're absolute, or what was one of the words he said? It is worse than useless. Tell me the page number. It was hilarious. It really was funny. Okay, yeah. So anyway, let's have a quick look at these figures. Again, I was like, when I was chatting with my mate earlier, he was just giving me a load of shit. I was just like, look, you know, you want to see who's using it in applications? Like, check this out. This is what's going on at the moment. I mean, look at this. Look at D, whatever that is, on an absolute tear. So they've done 2 million transactions in the last 30 days, and is over 500,000. Peer games 318,000. Predictology 292,000. Twetch 134,000. TDXP app, you know. So yeah, I mean, great. Yeah, all the figures that you need to, you know, in order to assess the how the network is doing, are right here, literally in front of your eyes. Shitcoiners wouldn't really have a clue what this means, but literally when something is being used and you can see the speed, cost, and scale that it has, you can then apply it to various applications. And Bitcoin is basically the world's biggest data solution, you know, the biggest data network. And I put in a post earlier that big blocks create solutions for big data problems. Small blocks just simply create problems. Yeah, which is why they're saying, oh, well, yeah, we've got a problem here with this small block. We need to develop a bullshit second layer called Lightning Network. And all of this crap. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a look at the CoinDance chart. Hasn't seen what's been going on today. So 0.3% of the hash rate. Network nodes 2.3. Transactions 35.8. Ooh. Bcrash just beating us there, but block size 49.8, almost 50%. Ooh, Huobi is back on here. Some bigger blocks on Bcrash. You can see a 5 megabyte block. Michael Saylor, if you're watching, there are no big blocks coming on BTC, mate. None. And I also heard Michael Saylor, I heard he's borrowed $900 million. $900 million to buy more BTC with. You know, again, no fundamental understanding of BTC. A $900 million loan. You know, I mean, that is just absolutely insane. But let me just see if we can find it quickly. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, and like, look, check this out just for a little bit of info for you. This is somebody outlining whale calls. Look at how many Tether have been transferred to. This is all Binance, all transferred to Binance. Literally over the last hour when this first went up. So we've got, like, from the bottom, 11.9 million USDT, 10 million, 33 million, and 11 million, 13 million, 12 million, 13 million, 20 million, 19 million, 13 million, 11 million, 12 million, 10 million, 31 million, 19 million, 12 million, 24 million, 56 million. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. So why is suddenly Binance in receipt of all this Tether? I would say maybe they're expecting some news soon. They're basically trying to give themselves liquidity so that they don't go bust. Maybe they've been listening to my show. But somebody else pointed out to me earlier that a Tether just printed $1 billion. Literally $1 billion in one go. It's an absolute farce. There we go. Look at this, 17th of February. So this was just yesterday. $1 billion. Literally. Like that. At the touch of a button. And people are wondering, why the market has gone up. Shitcoiners just don't want to listen. They don't want to hear it. They don't have the intellectual capacity to understand this. I mean, look at the state of it. I mean, we can even see this if we go into like more detail. 1 week. I mean, look, does this boost in price not suddenly look like $1 billion has just been printed and entered into the market. And people are just like, oh, well, $1 billion, $1 billion won't affect, a market cap of, what's it got? Oh my God, like $965 billion. But what you've got to understand is that it's the trading volume you've got to look at. So let's go back to coins. So only $18 billion, I say only $18 billion, that's $18 billion of the 965 overall market cap. Only that $18 billion is being traded. That's like the available supply. So you suddenly chuck $1 million, within that trading volume for people to get their hands on, and yeah, boom. So that basically you've got $1 billion, which is, well, that would be just over 5, so 7%, say, of 18 billion, and you've got 7% going straight into the market. 7% of the trading volume, which sets the price for the rest of the market. So literally, this is when Craig was saying the market would literally tank if you were to sell 100,000 BTC, because it would massively affect the trade volume. And it's the trade volume, so it's like this price isn't really real. It's just numbers on a screen. Like literally, without any fundamental value, which it doesn't have, it could literally just pop, literally like that. And these shitcoiners have no clue, because again, they're just all they're looking at is chart. Oh yeah, all these like effing dirty traders. I have no idea how stupid they are. Talking about number go up. Well, so tell me about this like bull. I was watching more like bullshit, shitcoin programs the other day, talking about more projects that are coming out. Oh, so tell me about your project then. Oh yeah, I think I might trade that. Yeah. So tell me your bullshit story. And the reason it's a bullshit story is because they don't understand the fundamentals. Once you understand the paradox of the centralized starting point, and then speed, cost, and scale, you can see right through all the bullshit. Literally utter bullshit. Yeah, it's hilarious. So anyway, I've been going for like an hour. I didn't even actually cover all the stuff that I wanted to go through. Let's just see if we can find that Michael Saylor post for shits and giggles. Where was it? That was Dave Portnoy actually saying he knows that BTC is a Ponzi scheme because the Winklevoss twins went around and basically told him so. And look at this, we've got Tim Draper, a billionaire, going, 250k by 2022. Well, chances are the bubble is going to pop by then. Or regulators are going to come down on it. I mean, how can you not know what SegWit is when you're in the public eye like that? How can you not have a fundamental understanding? Even Elon Musk doesn't understand SegWit, and yet it's easy to find out about it. It's right in front of your eyes. You can read about it. You just simply have to use your common sense to understand why it's a load of bollocks. So look at this. Business intelligence firm MicroStrategy is looking to add another $1 billion worth of Bitcoin on top of the 3.5 billion it already owns. Look at this. So the firm is selling $900 million of notes in a private offering to institutional investors. These investors will be able to buy an additional $150 million worth of notes if they wish to. MicroStrategy estimates that the net proceeds will be $879 million, or about $1 billion if the additional notes are bought. This is the money that it will then use to buy Bitcoin. So again, effectively they're selling securities, which is rights. But I mean, what's this? Investor notes of notes, like promissory notes, IOUs, effectively saying, oh well, actually, don't bother buying Bitcoin yourself. Just give your money to us, and we'll buy it for you. It's ridiculous. I mean, that kind of like line reminds me of a comedian that I saw who was just joking about charities, when he was saying, you shouldn't give money to a homeless person because you don't know where it's going. I was like, well, actually, if I follow my money after I've given it to a homeless person, it looks like it's going up and over there and into the off license. Whereas the charities just like, just don't give your money to them, just give us your money and we'll make sure they get it. Honestly, the whole monetary system is just like an absolute swindle. It's hilarious. So anyway, I've been going for like an hour already. So I would love to encourage everybody to I'm probably going to put my show on Streamanity, see how it goes for 10 cents. So again, all I just need to do is cover the upload fee. And then if you guys could share it out and get 10% of that, if you get 10 people or more watching the video, you've covered the cost of your 10 cents. And that means that, again, people are actually paying to not be on a platform that basically steals their data and keeps them on their data by keeps people on their platform by using other people's data to make themselves money. So basically we need to get away from the likes of YouTube, who are selling our data to advertisers, and then subjecting people to advertising when they're watching it. Whereas now we really need to start sort of trying to add value to our data. So please, if you're inspired by anything that I've said, or articles that I've read, or just read through all the stuff that I've written, please have a go. Or if you want me as a guest on your show, more than happy to come on and for shits and giggles and stuff, and answer your questions, and just maybe have a chat about things that you've spotted that you want questions answered to. Because like I said, technicals doesn't ever stop, because improving speed, cost, and scale is an ever ongoing an infinite ongoing process. Whereas with the fundamentals, this is probably one of the reasons why Craig isn't really all that bothered about talking about the fundamentals, is because the fundamentals don't change. Once you understand the fundamentals, that is it. That is literally it. I got to the bottom of the rabbit hole. I realized there was a paradox there, and then I just simply started explaining it to everybody. That's it. There's no change in that. But to me, I was fascinated by it, because literally nobody has written about it. I literally had to figure this out for myself. And I'm just like, no one knows this. And again, like I said, I'm not really a techie. So again, I was an investor. So I was just like, my main question was like, how can I make absolutely categorically sure that my investment is safe? What is it that makes it safe? And again, it's the neutral growth of the network, which has got the value, which basically means you can see all these shitcoins for what they really are, which is just absolute pieces of digital dog shit. Alright, here we go. Shelly Mac, nice one. Thank you for putting these questions in there. Again, handles and paymails in the chat box, peeps. Just gonna turn my phone on, so we're ready for dinging of the dong when the time comes. Here we go. Diddy asks, yesterday at the end of the show, what about the World Economic Forum and International Monetary Fund? Well, I mean, again, they're all kind of like, in bed with each other. All kind of like, they're all funded by the Federal Reserve. And again, I mean, we've seen the, the International Monetary Fund providing loans to these, third world countries, basically getting them in debt and screwing them like over a barrel. And like the World Economic Forum, again, is just, well, rather than the International Monetary Fund funded by the Fed, you've got just basically the a congregation of global elites, back scratching and stuff. I think it costs like $35,000 a year to be a member of it. But I mean, I propose the World Bitcoin Forum, for basically us lot to get to know each other, bounce ideas off each other, and if anybody's got information about these scumbags at the Federal Reserve, because they're the people that are going to be like, they're political masters, and they can get away with doing whatever they want because they basically control governments. It's literally, it's literally like organised crime that runs the world. It's shocking, really. They want to kill Bitcoin. Well, yeah. I mean, they don't want it. They'll do anything to keep the USD as the world reserve currency, so they can print as much as they like, and nobody can stop them. And when you've got access to the printing press, literally the only thing that will stop you is the population. I mean, this is why obviously China spends so long on cracking down dissent and divide and conquer, making sure that people don't rise up. Whereas if the Fed, the powers behind the Fed are actually caught, let's say because they are they have a central bank digital currency which is going to be on the Bitcoin blockchain, they won't be able to do any of these off-balance sheet transactions anymore. Whereas at the moment they can print money to the heart's content and nobody bats an eyelid. They just simply pay the Inspector General to look the other way because they pay the Attorney General. You know, it's an absolute scandal. It's a joke. JP asks, what's your opinion on the need to have Bitcoin SV ATM machines installed in cities? Again, I was talking with Jimmy Mack about this the other day. CentB in South Africa have actually installed like sort of ATM machines in local corner shops. Personally, I don't really think ATM machines are all that important. Well, I mean, it depends if it's a cash society. Yeah, I mean, if it's a cash society, they will need somewhere to convert to their cash. You know, if they've got online, banking like we use, then I mean, really everything should be done on the phones because everybody has a phone. So even in like the deepest, darkest corner in Africa, like I said the other day, people are actually using phone credits as a medium of exchange because the phone credits were a store of value because the time on the minutes didn't change. So once you'd bought that time, the mobile phone minutes, it didn't change, even though the value of those minutes were increasing because it was basically the value of the currency that was decreasing, whereas the time of the mobile minutes was fixed. So it was a better medium of exchange. So everybody's got a mobile phone. So really, it's a case of getting Bitcoin mobile, which is what Craig has said his intention is doing. So I don't necessarily think Bitcoin ATMs are all that important. It's certainly a distribution method is what's really important. Yeah, getting mobile phones being used. Lamgo asked, hearing Toshi, did you see the bit where someone had accessed the stream and held up a handwritten note saying Craig Wright is Satoshi? No, I didn't. That would have been hilarious. Brilliant. I mean, just as I tuned in, his lordship was saying, will somebody stop doing that? So whether it was that or whether it was somebody making a noise on the microphone, I don't know. But I've got to admire the wit and humour of people in BSV. Again, sarcasm, lowest form of wit, highest form of intelligence. Honestly, I've never had so much fun in my life since being in the BSV community. I think people are absolutely hilarious because creativity is a sign of intelligence. And if you're intelligent, you can't help but add humour to it, because why not? I think it's great. Honestly, I've never laughed so much in my life since I've been involved in the genuine Bitcoin and met everybody in the space. I think it's great. I love it. Honestly, I really do. I love it. Jimmy Mack asks, did you see the names of the guests? I didn't actually. I saw the names across the bottom, the initials at the bottom of the screen. There was a Paddington Bear. Now there is an NAW BSV is. What's that? Bitcoin and a Peter McCock Max. Yeah, and I was hearing plenty of dingles and stuff. I was actually posting on Twitter in the GB GBR chat group while we were watching it. It was really quite funny. Yeah, nice one. All right, peeps, that'll do. Let's do dinging of the dongs. Just gonna open up my hand cache here. Let's speed through this. Lamgo, what's yours? Can't remember what your one was. Richie Rich. Here we go. Always have to tap your name twice. Swiping to send on the way to you. You're the first one. Got it. Caught it nicely. Jimmy Mac, what was yours one? Jimmy says, if you don't have a Craig Wright Satoshi token, please leave your PayMail. Tokens going around. Here we go. Jimmy Mac, there we go. Swiping to send on the way. Here we go. Shelly Mac, this one's for you on the way. Here we go. Excellent. Swiping to send. This one's for you. And Connor G's in there. Great stuff. When Handcash lets me type. Put sin. No, we want CON. There we go. Connor G. Swiping to send on the way. Let's build now. Put yours in there. Can't remember what it is. One of the Aussie crew. Diddy, not Duddy. There we go. DID. There we go. Swiping to send on the way. And RI Patriot and KP Dad. Here we go. That's BB Blanchett. Got it. Swiping to send on the way. There we are. Cheesy Mac. There we go. KP Dad. Swiping to send on the way. And Neezy, smoking of a pipe. Here we go. NEE. Got it. Swiping to send on the way. There we go. And JPaps. Great stuff. JPaps. Got it. Swiping to send on the way. There we go. I think I've just donged it. Let's build now and Lamb Go. Just need yours in there. Yeah, what's Richie Rich says Michael Saylor, Safe House Fund for when BTC goes to 0. Yes, indeed. Honestly, I mean, he is going to be absolutely livid. You know, I mean, 900 million, almost $1 billion, and he has no idea. He thinks it's big block Bitcoin, but I mean, you know, it doesn't really take a lot. I mean, you just simply look at the other chains. Oh, you know, you want to do a little bit of research. What's gone on? You know, again, you know, he wasn't very impressed with Roger Ver trying to contact him, but he hasn't given him the time of day. You know, I listened to him, and then I came to the conclusion that he was talking shit. But that's how I knew he was talking shit, because I listened. He hasn't even listened to anybody. You know, and then all he's doing is listening to all the BTC core coin shit crowd. Going, oh, Craig Wright's a fraud, rah, 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 yeah. You know, it's just like, well, mate, how about you just do a little bit more research? You know, if you did a little bit of digging, you would find my show. You know, and my show to you, Sunshine, is worth $1 billion. In fact, it's worth $2 billion, because that is what you stand to lose. Because you literally haven't done your fundamental research, of which I'm explaining to everybody on a daily basis. You know, shocking. But there we go. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Been a good one. Hope you've enjoyed the show. And remember, just have a go. You know, have a go at doing stuff yourself. Set up your own YouTube channel. You can, again, I mean, you can do a show on my articles if you want. Just challenge yourself. Put one out there. You know, as you do it more and more, you will get better and better and better. You know, you'll have like an introduction, presentation, qualification, short story, close, all that kind of stuff. You know, pick up bits of information, keep yourself sharp, challenge yourself to be able to explain things better in your own words, you know, more concisely. You know, I didn't come up with the fact that, you know, Bitcoin was, you know, the foundation layer for all future digital technologies, secured and underpinned by economic principles, like just literally like overnight. It took me a long time to realize that. You know, same with commoditized data sovereignty. It took me a long time to realize that. Yeah. So the more you think about it, the more you should sort of challenge yourself, the more the dots should join up. And again, if you're having trouble, you know, well, you know, understanding it, imagine how difficult it's going to be for a newbie. So maybe you can use your own train of thought to explain to somebody else who's kind of like, you know, just getting into this as well, asking questions, because literally the entire world is going to pile in. The entire world is going to pile in, you know, and I don't want to be explaining the basics to all of you guys when obviously you're so much further down the road than all the newbies that are coming in. My show's probably going to be way more far advanced. So, you know, I'd rather you sort of like listen to my show, take some information from it, and I can also share bits and pieces that I found from the relative, you know, the different bits of information that I found. You know, you can make your own shows. That's what we need. We need quality information out there. But in fact, let's just have a quick look at this chap. Oh, actually, I know what it was. We'll type the Nigerian Senate. God, good grief. Nigerian Senate. Here we go. The genuine one. They tweet thousands every day, so we're going to try and find a tweet that was on the 11th of February. 6 hours, 7 hours. Good grief, this might take a while. Scrolling through. But then when I find it, I'll post it to myself. Good grief, so that was just yesterday. So we go to 11, so we got 6 days to go through. 7th, 16th of February. Let's find it anyway. This is like scrolling through my 11th of February. Here already. Excellent. Let's have a quick look. Here we go. We didn't create cryptocurrency, and so we cannot kill it. Wow, we didn't create cryptocurrency, and so we cannot kill it, and cannot also refuse to ensure it works for us. These children are doing a great business with it, and they are getting results, and Nigeria cannot immune itself from this sort of business. There's another post. Cryptocurrency has become a worldwide transaction of which you cannot even identify whom owns that. The technology is so strong that I don't see the kind of regulation that we can do. Bitcoin has made our currency almost useless or valueless. That's the tweet that I wanted to find. Wow, send that to myself. Send my direct message. I mean, this is fascinating stuff. That you've actually got the genuine Nigerian Senate saying that Bitcoin has made our currency almost useless or valueless. That's the Nigerian Senate actually admitting that, and again they've been like talking about trying to shut it down and stuff like that. But yeah, there's all this. There's apparently I think there's something like a 36% premium on BTC at the moment in Nigeria because the government have tried to ban it. Yeah, there's all this stuff going on at the moment. It's fascinating. So yeah, that'll do, folks. See you guys all on Twitter very soon. And again, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Same time tomorrow. Catch you guys later. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. Buybsv.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online.